Morning peeps, good morning everyone. What's good? How are we all doing? That's a question, by the way. How are you all doing? I know I just say it at the start of all my videos, but I'm genuinely checking in on everyone. Like, how are you all doing? Now, if you're not doing too well, because sometimes this life can be bloody shitty, you guys know in the past I've always said, reach out, and a lot of you do reach out, and I can't get back to everyone, but I'm sure a lot of you will leave comments on the video saying that Ade does give us a call. So I do, when I can, reach out to people and just have a conversation for 20, 30 minutes. So look, you know my email address. Send an email if you're not doing too well. And I can't promise I will call because I know I will get loads of emails, but I will try. I will try and give everyone, even if it's a 5-minute fucking call, because trust me, I've been there when life isn't too great, and a 5-minute call can do a lot. So yeah, if you're not doing too well, drop me a line, and hopefully, I'm not trying to say I'm fucking Father Christmas, but hopefully a little 5-minute call will perk you up a little bit. Yeah? All right, don't forget, if you are new to the channel as well, please hit that subscribe button. You guys know what the target is. It is 40,000 subscribers by the end of the year, which is certainly not impossible. Very difficult, but not impossible. All right, as I mentioned on the Amir Khan video, I just did loads of fights on the weekend, like so many. We're not gonna go through all of them. It's impossible. I will, on the Jamel Charlo video I'm about to do after this one, just go through some of the results, the ones that stood out, like Kovalev coming back as a cruiserweight, Kubrat Pulev having a fight as well. But I do wanna focus this video on Martin Bakole's win over Tony Yoka. And I'm so happy I can say Martin Bakole's win, because there was one judge who tried his hardest to make sure that Tony Yoka got out of there with a draw, which is a disgrace. Firstly, let's give credit to Martin Bakole and Billy Nelson, because that's no mean feat to go over to France and beat Tony Yoka, the Olympic gold medalist. And look, I'm a big Yoka fan. He hasn't really proved himself yet, I don't think, as a top 10, top 15 heavyweight, but I actually thought he was going to. I thought 2022/2023 was going to be the year of Tony Yoka, a bit more busier, and I thought he would have got a good scalp against someone in the top 10, top 15, and then we would have been talking about him as being maybe one of those guys that could do something. I genuinely thought he was going to be that guy, because I love his boxing style. So going over to France and beating that guy in front of obviously what was a hugely favourable Tony Yoka crowd deserves some bloody respect. It does. It almost reminds me of back in the day, and it's a bit different because the name I'm going to mention went over there to win world titles, but it reminds me a bit of the day of David Haye going over there and beating Jean-Marc Mormec, and David Haye getting up off the canvas and then stopping Mormec. It reminds me a bit of that. It really does. So credit to Billy Nelson and Martin Bakole. And look, I have to be honest with you, Martin Bakole surprised me a little bit. Because I remember when Martin Bakole got beat by Michael Hunter, and look, this result's looking really good for Michael Hunter, by the way. I remember thinking, he's okay, Bakole, but he's not. Like, every time I've mentioned possible opponents for guys, I've never really brought up Bakole's name. I've always felt that he's just out of that conversation. Now he's right in the conversation. Now, when you think of, like, someone tweeted or texted me the other day and said, oh, what about Bakole versus Dillian Whyte? And again, I think, don't get me wrong, I think Bakole's off that, but I mean, not far off it. And that's what this win has done. And let's also give him respect. Like, since the Michael Hunter defeat, he didn't shy away, you know, got back in the ring. And I think he won his next 7. Of those 7, off the top of my head, I think Sergey Kuzmin was the only one that went all the way. The rest have been knockouts. Like, he knocked out Marius Vac, and yes, Marius Vac's probably about 80 now, but no one knocks out Marius Vac, and he did that. So the power was there. The conditioning looks a bit better. I still think it can be improved. You know, he's not body beautiful, but he's a big lump. He's a big lump, and he's clearly got the gas tank. I mean, he went all the way with Tony Yoka, and his punch output was pretty good. It was pretty good against Tony Yoka. Tony Yoka looked off for me. And this is not me being a Tony Yoka apologist. He just looked a bit off. Even the second knockdown where he kind of twisted his ankle. So it wasn't a knockdown via a punch, but look, referee canned it, so it is what it is. But he's twisted his ankle, and he's like, what's up with Yoka? Like, I gave Yoka 1 round in that fight, and even that's debatable, and that's the 7th. I thought he landed a couple of good shots, and to be fair, Bakole did as well. But if you're trying to find a round for Yoka, that's the only round you're going to find, which then goes back to the scorecards. If I gave Yoka one round and there were 2 knockdowns, how on earth does a judge find it 94-94? And not just that judge, all of the judges. All of the judges' scorecards were a disgrace. At least the 2 other judges had Bakole winning, but they were a disgrace. That 94-94 might be, you know, obviously we're victim of now, right? And I'm only thinking of results of recent times, but that might be the worst scorecard I've ever seen in my life, ever. Again, I've watched that fight now a couple of times. You can only give Yoka a round. So you can only give Yoka a round, plus 2 knockdowns. People, do the maths on this. 10-round fight. If you can only give Yoka a round, how on earth has a judge got that a draw? Like, they've honestly, that's corruption. Let's call it what it is. I know this is difficult for me to say now because obviously I'm in, you know, the Ade of a few years ago is a bit different from the Ade now. Obviously I work within boxing, so you've got to be a bit careful, but fuck that, I'm sorry. That's corruption. There's that judge is bent. It has to be. You can't, there's no other way to justify it. There's no other way. There is no other way. It isn't a case of even he was influenced by the crowd, because the crowd knew what was going on. Obviously, when Yoka kind of, you know, landed a couple, then, you know, the crowd was screaming. But if you're a boxing judge, and he's been doing it for a long time, I looked up this judge. There's no way you can find that a 94-94. In fact, he's lucky. So the other judges are lucky because he's the one that's really coming under scrutiny now, but the other judges were awful as well. They only had it by a couple of rounds to Bakole, only by a couple of rounds. And this is why you get a lot of fighters that don't want to travel. They don't want to travel. They're just not accepting it. They don't want to do it. And this is why we don't get some of the best fighters from America coming over, and likewise, because everyone's like, no, fuck that, I ain't traveling. And it isn't just in France. I mean, look, we don't get to see much fights in France because there aren't that many fighters there, but this is everywhere. Like, I'm saying it like, you know, like we should somehow point at France and like, you're a disgrace. That's Germany. When I was growing up, it was always in Germany. It's the UK, the US. It's the same everywhere. And it needs to be stamped out. These fighters, you know, this is, you know, it's no exaggeration, are risking their lives. And all you ask for is a fair fucking shake from the judges. All you ask for is that. I don't know what, I don't know, look, it's either incompetence or corruption, whichever one you want to do. If it's incompetence, I'm not quite sure, because what do? Do you then get ex-fighters to do it? I mean, you know, fighters know what they're looking for. I don't know what you do. But look, in the end, the decision's the right decision. You know what's funny, and I don't know if this is, I don't know if it's real or not, because I never know what people put on social media. But there is a statement I saw. I hope it's real, and it was from Tony Yoka, I think. Again, you guys might have seen it or not. Tony Yoka thinks he won the fight. He genuinely thinks he won the fight, which is staggering. Honestly, it's staggering. But he didn't. They got the game plan right, which is when you're away from home, you've just got to put it on the home fighter. You've got to put it on him, and that's what Bakole did. Once you get a knockdown in the first round, then that's it, isn't it? I mean, you can sort of build on that. And look, well done to Martin Bakole. Well done. And it has to be a big fight next for him now. This was a big fight, but now it has to be a big fight where you start to think, well, 1 second, we want to be in the mix. And you kind of wonder who. Let me have a quick look at sort of the top 10 or top 20 and have a look at a realistic opponent for Martin Bakole. 2 secs, peeps. Realistic opponent. Right, let's go down the list. Usyk, no. AJ, no. Wilder, I'm going to do a video on Wilder. Dillian Whyte, don't think Dillian Whyte would want to fight a Bakole after a defeat. Don't know, that's not the kind of... You might want to. I don't think Dillian Whyte would be scared of Bakole in any way, shape or form. Parker, no, because Parker's fighting Joe Joyce. Chisora would be a good one, but Eddie has said he's already got to fight Chisora. Michael Hunter is fighting Huey Fury. Luis Ortiz, I think it's going to be announced, is going to fight Andy Ruiz. That's going to be announced in a couple of days. Kubrat Pulev, coming off a win around the same time. Pulev fought, what, Saturday? That could happen. Gassiev is interesting. But these aren't the one. Otto Volin. I don't know if these are enough for him. I don't know. You know what would be? You know what he would really want? The fight he would really, really want, and he'll bite your hand off for it. The winner of Trevor Bryan, Daniel Dubois. That's what he would really want. And if I'm his team, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. But look, he's put himself in a position where, you know, he can get a big fight. He can get a big fight. I think that's his 8th win in a row, or 7th or 8th win in a row. It's a big win. It's a big win for Bakole. They tried. That ref tried, or the judge, apologies, tried. But hey, it is what it is. In the end, the right man won, and that's the most important thing. But yeah, well done to Martin Bakole. Well done to Billy Nelson. Solid win against Tony. What next for Tony Yoka? What next for Tony Yoka? They're going to have to work on things. I mean, he's with Virgil Hunter, and I have to be honest with you, I don't know, man. I haven't seen much. I have not seen much. I really haven't. I haven't. And I always wonder, obviously, Joshua Buatsi's got a big fight coming up against Craig Richards. Obviously, this fight as well now. How much real one-on-one time do you get with someone? Like, are they training together with him? Does Richards get a day, and then, does Buatsi get a day, and then Yoka get a day? Like, these camps are good, but I do wonder, like, do you get that real one-on-one time you need with your trainer, or is it spread, and do you get, like, I don't know, a few hours with Virgil and then you get a few hours with his second? Like, how does it work? Because so far, I don't think I've seen much improvements in Tony Yoka so far, and he's been with Virgil for I'm trying to think of how long he's been with him. It's been a long time, put it that way. But anyway, guys, what do you make of Yoka? What do you make of Bakole? Let me know. Peace.